Okay, I'm finally about to do something I've been avoiding. No reason other than I'm tired. Today I'm tired. Just found out that I was supposed to be at work this morning. I had agreed to go in and I forgot. Problem is, everyone who knew I was supposed to be in just sent messages. But I try not to look at my messages too frequently because we waste a lot of time doing such things. And so I didn't look at the messages. And by the time I checked the messages, it was 5 minutes to 12. It was too late for me to go in for the morning. So I hope they survived. Anyway, we're going to be doing a bit of sewing. A lot of sewing, and this is the first of my coco core that I'm going to be using to do the sewing. I thought it was quite fascinating watching it swell up. That's why I actually started to record. So I think I'm going to need at least 2 of them. So let's just get another one out of the pack. It'll suck up the remaining water as well. And let's see, just put it in. What a nice and easy way to keep artificial soil. So I'll let you know what I'm planting or sowing, and I'll show you my tomato plant. I probably can show you my tomato plant in a bit after I finish doing this, because I've had to cut it back because I chose the wrong type of tomato plant to grow in the winter. And what has happened is the tomato plant has outgrown its space, and so I've had to cut the leading growth stem to stop it growing upwards because I have no more room on the windowsill. And because of that, I'm going to have to allow more stems to grow. We shall see how we go with that. But let me just finish getting this ready and then we can chat as I do my sewing and show you what it is I'm going to be growing. Okay, let's get going with sewing some plants today. Hello, I don't even know if you can see me. Today I'm doing a bit of sewing. I've got these propagators that you can see before me, and there are a few things I want to sew, and they include aubergines. I know it's late, but I'm going to put some purple sprouting broccoli in as well because I really want to have some. California Wonder sweet pepper. This one, I have no idea why I'm doing it, but it's the the chili pepper Trinidad perfume. Apparently it's supposed to be nice. I've got aubergine black beauty. I've got zebrun shallots, some onion seeds, and then this one is called Listada de Gandia. Listada de Gandia. That's aubergine as well. Pak choy, if I have space, because I can't find the covers to my propagators. And so I'm limited in how many I'll be able to do. Because last night I I also soaked my meteor peas. So these are the first ones to go in. And I actually soaked 60, which is going to take up, plan was to put 2 per pot. And some, oh, this one looks like it's trying to germinate already. So I'm going to put 2 in each pot and hope that one of them germinates. If they both germinate, all well and good. So if I put 2 in each, that's going to take up 30 cells. I've been putting off doing this, I don't know why, but I finally got around to doing it. And I'm using coco coir because I had planted some bits and pieces and I got a lot of gnats, and I don't want gnats in my house. And these guys are going to start off in the light, so because of that I'm going to put them in here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting the peas in, 2 per cell, and then what I will do is afterwards I'll get the rest of the coco coir and top it up so that they can start to germinate. I didn't know, I've forgotten that I had this little trowel. It makes life easier when you're trying to put stuff in the ground, well, stuff in these little pots, because the peas have been soaked overnight. They're very swollen and are taking up more space, but then that's the space they would have taken up after taking up the fluid from the pot itself, so it's no different. When I finish this, I can relax knowing that I've done the one thing that I've been putting off for a long time. I hope you guys have been well. I'm okay. I have a tomato plant which has outgrown its space because I chose the, what's it called, sun gold to grow this winter, and I've learnt my lesson. For winter I'll only ever grow dwarf varieties from now on, but for today I just cut it down to make space, and I think it will do fine. I'm going to let it have 3 stalks. We've already got fruit forming, started flowering 2 months after sowing, which is good to know that the seeds I've got are very good. And we'll see what happens with it. So I'll carry on with my sowing and I'll get back to you when I've done with the peas, because you can't, it's boring sitting here watching someone do this. It's no fun. Well, I enjoy it. I can actually watch it a lot. And I spend a lot of my time on YouTube watching people sowing seeds, but I don't know what other people think of it. I just think it's just the beginning of life, isn't it? You're just busy starting a new life cycle. I don't even know why I'm growing peas. I don't know if I like peas. I love frozen peas, but I don't know what type of peas those are. And I just like them straight from the freezer. Microwave them just quick. No complicated cooking or anything like that. And Bob's your uncle. You just put them on a plate and eat. So I'm hoping that these taste like those, but if they don't, it's a lesson learnt, considering there's 60 in here and I've still got more to grow. But we shall see. Well, this one is broken, so I think I will add another. Some of these have split from being soaked. But at least that way you can rule out certain ones knowing that they're no good. Wow, I think I did too many because that's the second pot and I've still got aubergines. I think I'll do 3 plants of each type of aubergine, so that leaves me a bit of space. Right, let's do this. Let's do this one as well, because because I think the peas are going to take up a lot of this space, even if I'm putting them to, I'm sure I did 60. So why does it feel like there's more than 60? Each of these cells has 12. So my expectation is if you've got 12, 24, theoretically shouldn't have taken up more than that. So maybe my counting last night whilst I was tired was not as I expected. Okay, I'll get on and do this, listen to a book to keep me company, and then get back to you. Okay, finished with planting everything. Oh no, I haven't. I've got this one to go. I've got 10 seeds in here. I'm going to do 2 and see whether or not, I'm not even going to eat them because I wouldn't eat a chili this hot. I've seen someone eat it and they say that they are actually delicious. They got flavor. So, and they say a bit can be slow and erratic to emerge, so you need to allow up to 35 days. I'm a bit late with it, but since it's just an experimental grow, I've done a whole lot of sweet pepper called California Wonder. I suddenly realized I've got plenty of space in the garden, so I can afford to have that much. And I've done a whole lot of shallots. So these are precious. I'm going to do 4 plants. And that leaves me 6 plants in here because they said it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's an extra one in there for safety. Lovely. So let's put these in there. Trinidad. So the plan is when these grow a little bit and start to sprout, when they get a little bit leggy, you pull them out before they start to root too much, and then put them into individual pots. So that is what the plan is going to be for these guys. All right, so we just need to cover them all with soil. Well, not soil, it's cocoa coir. So, and then I'll put some water in the bottom. I'll water them from the bottom rather than the top, because I made sure that the cocoa coir was damp, so they all have enough dampness in them. And then they'll be going under the lights, ready for growing. And as you can see, I don't do they normally tell you, oh, put just an inch of soil or that kind of stuff. I never do that. I just put it in, cover it the way I see fit, and leave it at that. So that's what we're doing here, putting it in. This is a really cool little gadget. It's perfect for sewing. It's got an end that helps with getting your holes right, but I just suddenly realized that I'll do what I've seen a lot of other gardeners do, is overseed one small space and then pull out the plants as they start to germinate and put them into individual pots. That way you don't need as much space for your initial germination process. So the leftover cocoa coir will be put in a bag and put outside to wait for the next lot of germination. That will be happening soon anyway, because we're going into February, and I think in February things like cucumber can start to be sown. So I've got to sow my cucumber. I didn't want to sow it now, having had the experience of the what's it called, the tomato plant, which has outgrown everything. So we've got California Wonder, we've got Charlotte Zebrun, Pak Choi Red. So these two here, Pak Choi Red, these two are shallots. And then I've got onions in 4 squares. I think this is shallot here as well, don't remember. California Wonder, and then the Trinidad Perfume It's one of the hotter chilies in the world, top range hotness. So that's one down. And then we want the peas. I shall do this one first. So we then got Rudolph broccoli all through here. So this one is a sprouting broccoli, which I'm hoping will grow a lot. And if it does, because I've got 3 gardens where I can grow broccoli, I've put in a whole lot of seeds, and we'll see how well we do. The hope is that they'll germinate well and we will have a successful crop in all gardens. I'll keep 2 plants at home, 2 at the allotment, and then I'll give some away, and then I'll also take some to work. I've got space at work which I'm going to be able to use to grow some veg, so I'll put some there for people to take. So because I feel, you know, in this day and age when people are struggling with food, rather than have plants that like shrubs, it's nice to have edible plants mixed in with the shrubs and flowers, in order that people can actually have the option of taking something home in case they're struggling so much that they don't even know what they're going to have for dinner. Being able to pick, say, a few sprouts is a little something. So it would be great if all gardeners did that, secretly planted some veg all over the place, so people can actually have access to fresh veg. Because sadly, when you don't have money, the cheapest food is not always the healthiest. But if everyone could have access to fresh veg, that would actually mean that they're getting a little bit of vitamins, and anything like that is a bit of giving back. So you see all those beds that are full of flowers at roundabout. Flowers are lovely, but surely they could be combine flowers with some veg, or beds on the sides of the road filled with flowers. Sometimes they're left empty. Imagine if they were filled with fruit or veg that people could go pick freely. Imagine mini orchards on roundabouts. That would be great, wouldn't it? At least in my head it would be great, because when you've had the opportunity to go hungry, you appreciate food a lot more. And I have been hungry before, so to me food is more important than flowers. Flowers you can't eat, food you can eat. So I'm going to finish the peas off. I'm not even going to put the peas under lights. It's my belief that they should start to grow fine even if I put them outside. This is a much earlier start to my growing season than before. Last year I think it was the end of Feb when I started the growing, but this year I've decided to give it a go. But then last year I didn't grow as much as I'm wanting to grow this year, and you really do have to become very organized. My worry is I'll be going away on holiday, and the question becomes, who will look after my babies? Because that's the responsibility I'm taking on by putting these babies in the ground. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to look after you, but then what if I'm not able to? Because that will make me feel bad. But I actually like this coco coir. It doesn't make me feel like I'm making as much of a mess. This also helps a lot, because I'll just hold it, take it outside and shake it off, and I'll be done. So we've done, I'm going to put these other peas outside in one of the pots. I'm not even going to bother putting it into another of these propagators. I'll just put it in an outdoor pot and see if it wants to grow. If they want to grow, they'll grow. If they don't, they don't. And then this will be me done this week, and then next week we'll try and find something else that needs to be sown, because the season is beginning. As you can see, there's plenty of sun at the moment today. So as the season begins, we have to start sowing and sowing and sowing, and then later on we'll have the glut of harvest that everyone is looking forward to. And this year I'm already thinking at home I'm going to use pots to create the equivalent of a square foot garden, but in pots. I'd never thought of actually utilizing my pots that way. I think I overstocked each of my pots last year, which would have affected my produce, but this year I'm planning to do it differently and to make it less crowded in each pot. Okay, I'm done. Okay, this guy is doing really well, this baby here, to the point that I am going to make a very hard and painful decision. Do you see what's up there? Potential fruit. Do you see what's there? Potential fruit. Do you see what is here? The beginnings of fruit. And we've got another one here. So what I am going to do is I am going to shorten this guy's life immensely by taking off the top growing part in order, there we go, that it can stop growing taller. Instead, I am going to allow that guy here and this one here to grow and become the same height as this, and then I'll stop them growing any further, and that should give me enough to have a trial of this type of tomato to see whether or not I like the flavor. I can say the leaves don't smell like tomatoes, if I don't know what it will taste like. This self-watering system is working really well, but we need better support of this guy because he's falling all over the place, and that's what I'm going to do today. Well, one of the things I'm planning to do today.